Hello everyone, welcome to Voxel. So in this video we're gonna discuss reading passage 2 of test number 4 of book 19th of Cambridge IELTS. So we have already discussed reading passage 1 of this particular fourth test. So if you haven't watched that video, you should watch that video, but after watching this particular one. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So what we do first is we read the title of the passage. So the title of this particular reading says deep sea mining. So from the title it is quite clear that this paragraph will be about mining deep in the oceans, like we are mining the minerals or other natural resources from the oceans. Resources, let's see, they can be of any kind. So it's about that particular thing, and we will read this particular introduction as well. Bacteria from the ocean floor can beat superbugs and cancer. So we are mining, but we are trying to mine for bacteria. Okay, not the minerals one, but we are trying to mine the bacteria from the ocean floor. Why? Because it can beat superbugs and cancer. We're trying to find some sort of like advancement in medical like stream, but habitats are at risk from the hunger for marine minerals. But the habitats are okay, we are also digging for minerals, marine minerals, and the habitats are at a risk because humans, well, they're getting hungry, they're getting selfish, so they are mining more and more, I think, where they should not mine. Okay, so that's why they are getting habitats are at risk. So this is particular paragraph will be based on mining of bacteria and minerals, like we're trying to find cure for humans as well as we are trying to mine minerals so that we can make some things. All right, so what's the benefit of this? We get a like rough idea of the passage, so when we're going to read the passage we will not be surprised from the vocabulary or the information because we know what kind of information we expect to read. So now we'll see the question numbers. So we have to deal with questions 14 to 26. So let's see now what we do. We do not read paragraph just yet. First we're going to read the questions and see what kind of question types we're going to deal with, so that we can make a plan or a strategy, you can say, according to that, and then we will continue reading the paragraph. So let's see the question types. Questions 14 to 17. Okay, so this is type of paragraph contains information. So in this particular thing we have to find which information is in which paragraph. For example, if this 14th question's information, whatever the information is we're going to read in a bit, is in A paragraph, we will write A in front of it. But if this is if information is in B paragraph or C paragraph, so whatever the paragraph is, we will write that paragraph alphabet in front of this question. All right, so you can see these are 4 questions, but we have 6 paragraphs. So we have 4 questions but 6 paragraphs, and there is no information like you can repeat one letter, any letter more than once. So we will not have to repeat any letter. So if we know that A paragraph answer is, let's just say, 15th or 14th, whatever the question is, though other questions will not have this particular paragraph as its option. Okay, so from 14 to 17, but remember it's up to 26. So let's see other sets. 18 to 23, let me change the color. 18 to 23, so this is our second set, and we have to list of people below. Okay, so we have to match each statement with the correct person or people A to E. All right, so here it is written NB, you may use any letter more than once. So we have 1 5 and questions are 18 to 23. So basically 1 2 3 4 5 6 questions are there from 18 to 23. All right, but we have 5 list of people, we have 5 options. Obviously at least one option will be more than once, then only then we can complete all the questions. Okay, so list of people, and last set is one word only, so blanks. So we have to write one word in each blank, we cannot write more than one word. So we have to complete this summary, basically blank. So we will see what kind of words. So now for these kind of question types, Okay, right? For because we have to read it again, we don't want to read it again and again. What will we do is wherever we will find the name of the person, after reading the paragraph, that person, we will try to match the information with that particular paragraph or with that particular question. And after reading the paragraph, we will see what kind of information we have to find out. So what we're gonna do first is we will first read these questions. Okay, you, if you can, you can read these questions as well, so that whenever there is any person, you can, if it can strike you immediately, you can find the answer. But you can read it after finding the person as well. But we're gonna read the information in this paragraph. I will read this information as well as this information, because in other video I haven't read this information beforehand, so it will be a sort of other thing that you can try. So we'll read the information now. 14th question: reference to the rapidly increasing need for one raw material in the transport industry. So in whatever paragraph there is reference meaning mention, wherever there is mention of rapidly increasing need, so the demand is increasing rapidly, you can say quickly, fastly, swiftly, these kind of words. But for who, for who, what, one raw material, and in which industry? Transport industry. So let's just say raw material name is A. So in whichever paragraph it is written, A's demand is like increasing quite like swiftly, fastly, whatever the word they want to use, significantly. Okay, in the like automobile industry, or in the, for trucks, for buses, for cars, whatever the transport mode is being used, that paragraph will be our answer. 15th, a rough estimate of the area of the earth covered by the ocean. So, in whatever paragraph, a rough estimate, meaning to say we don't know the exact number, but it will be a rough estimate. For example, for what area of the earth, like this 1,000 square kilometer, like millions of square kilometer, something like that. So there will be a rough estimate of the area of the earth. But for what kind of thing? Covered by oceans, like this much area is covered by land and this much area is covered by ocean. So wherever there, in whichever paragraph there is a rough estimate of that number, we will write that paragraph. It's quite easy. So when the benefit is, whenever we're gonna read like this, make a rough note of, if you want to make rough note, like you can write it in your own words, what kind of information is needed for this question, and in whichever paragraph you find that information, that is your answer. 16th, how a particular underwater habitat where minerals and organisms coexist is formed. So there will be mention of a particular underwater habitat, but with these two things, where these two things coexist, and it will be it will be explanation of its formation. Like first this thing happens and then this thing happens, that only then it will have some sort of ecosystem where minerals and organisms can coexist, some sort of information like that. Okay, I hope you get the idea. 17th, reference to the fact that the countries of the world have yet to agree on rules for exploration of the seabed. So we have to tell that the different countries around the world obviously have yet to agree, meaning to say they haven't agreed yet, but they have to agree, like they may agree in the future, but right now they are not in agreement. But on what kind of thing they are not in agreement on the rules of exploration of the seabed, like how much you can explore the seabed, like when it is safe or when it should not be allowed to mine there, or when it is safe to mine there, what are the rules of mining, environmental cost, environmental factors, something like that. So the countries, they do not have yet agreed on these terms. So in whatever paragraph it is written that the countries haven't agreed till now, so we will write that alphabet as our answer. I hope it is clear which question is requires what kind of information. Now we will also read these questions as well. You can do at this like this if you want to do, but if you are satisfied with this, like you do not want to burden yourself, if this is difficult for you, like reading these 6 questions and trying to find the you can say keywords out of each question simultaneously, what you can do is, okay, the way I will do it also. Read these questions, okay, read the a paragraph, okay, find out if there is any information, if there is any answer in this a paragraph. If not, then you have to obviously read all these questions again for the a paragraph, and if there is any list of people, if there is any name mentioned in it, we will mark if there is any answer in it. So we'll just read it. A move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves on land is a good idea. So whoever, like this is a people, list of people, let me change the color. Whoever says that we have to move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves and it's a good idea, so that person will be our answer. The negative effects of undersea exploration on local areas and their inhabitants are being ignored. So in whatever paragraph the negative effects are ignored on local areas and inhabitants, that person will be our answer. There are more worthwhile things to extract from sea than minerals. So in whichever person says that there are other things that should be extracted than minerals, okay, uh, so with whoever person says that there are other things that are more important than minerals and we should extract these things from the sea, that person will be the answer of question number 20th. 21. No other form of human exploration will have such a destructive impact on marine. So there is like no, whatever whoever person says that no other form of human exploration that can have such a destructive impact on marine life or like sea, that person will be our answer. More is known about outer space than about what lies beneath the oceans. So and whoever says that we know more about outer space than oceans, that person will be our answer, or that option will be our answer. 23rd, there is one marine life habitat where experts agree mining should not take place. So there will be like mention of one particular marine life habitat, maybe a mention of an area where like experts are in agreement that we should not mine. Okay, experts agree in unison that we should not mine. Okay, with whatever whoever person or whatever option is that, we will write that option in front of this question. Okay, and then blanks. Okay, let me read the first blank only, and well, let's see. Mining corporations. Okay, let me change the color. So mining corporations, wherever it is written mining or company something, believe mineral resources lying under the sea may be superior to those found in earth. So sea and earth, so wherever is a comparison between sea and earth, and they also say that these okay, we'll do this later, otherwise it will be a bit too much for a lot of students, so I don't want this video to be like confusing for those. So what we will do is we're gonna read the a paragraph. So we have read these questions and now we're gonna read the a paragraph. When Professor Matt Upton found that, so here is the list name. When Professor Matt Upton found that a microbe from a deep sea sponge was killing pathogenic bugs in his laboratory, he realized it could be a breakthrough in the fight against antibiotic resistant superbugs, which are responsible for thousands of deaths a year in the UK alone. So this person, okay, this person, when he found that the microbe is like from a deep sea sponge, so where the being that is found in deep sea and it is killing pathogenic bugs in his lab, okay, he was like he may be testing something, so he found that it may be like a lifesaver against antibiotic resistant superbugs, okay, that kills thousands each year in UK alone. Further tests confirmed that an antibiotic from the sponge bacteria found living more than 700 meters under the sea at the Rockall Trough in the northeast Atlantic was previously unknown to science, boosting its potential as life-saving medicine. So it's about this particular medicine is can be used to save lives. But Upton and other scientists who view deep sea ocean and its wealth of unique and undocumented species as prospecting ground for new medicines fear such potential will be lost in the rush to exploit the deep sea's equally rich metal and mineral resources. So they are saying that these undocumented species, they are like Upton and other scientists, basically Upton. Uh, Let me do this. Okay, Upton is saying that because they are also exploiting sea for metal and mineral resources, they fear that such potential will be lost. I hope this paragraph is clear. Now I will give you 10 seconds before for every question. Okay, now you have roughly 10 seconds to tell me whether there is any information of 14, 15, 16 or 17th in this paragraph. And if you need more than 10 seconds, you are more than welcome to pause the video, and when you are ready with your answer, you can resume. Okay, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to read it together and see how to solve these types of questions. 14th, reference to rapidly increasing need for one raw material in transport industry. Is there any mention of one particular material that is like being more in demand for transport industry? No, it's there is no mention of transport industry, nothing about a raw, no name of raw material is given. They have just given rich metal and mineral resources, but no, not any one particular raw material which is in high demand. 15th, a rough estimate, there is no mention of area of earth obviously, so this cannot be our answer. 16th, how a particular underwater habitat is formed, we don't know how this, but we know this is found in deep sea, but we don't know anything about how a particular habitat where these two things are, these two things coexist form. So 16th is not our answer here. 17th, reference to the fact that the countries of the world have yet to agree on rules, there is no mention like that. So in a paragraph we don't have any of these answers. So but we have Matt Upton here and he says some things, and for that let's just read these questions and let me do this. Okay, so Matt Upton is option number A, Professor Matt Upton. Okay, option number A. So you have 10 seconds to tell me whether these out of these six questions there is there any answer, and what if there is, what is that particular answer and the location. And your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. So let's see if there is any answer in this particular paragraph or not. So 18th, a move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves on a land is a good idea. Is this our answer? No, because there is like wherever it is saying, he is just saying, this particular professor is saying that, Matt is saying that it is like we have found something that can cure like many diseases. It's good, it's like so life saving medicines can be made. It is a potential, it has potential to make life saving medicines. But any suggestion about moving away from heavily mined reserves, that's a good idea, is not given by this particular professor, at least in this paragraph. Okay, 19th, the negative effects of undersea exploration on local areas and their inhabitants, nothing about that. There are more worthwhile things to extract from sea than other minerals. Can this be our answer? No. Many students will fall in the trap here. Let's let me do this. Here it is saying equally rich. So they are fair that they may lose the medicines, but medicines are equally rich metal and mineral resources. So they are not saying that medicines are more important than these. So if they are equal, but there is written, it is written more here, so obviously it cannot be our answer. Okay, 21. No other form of human exploration will have such a destructive impact on marine. There is nothing mentioned like this. Like nothing of that sort is being said by this particular person. 22nd, more is known about outer space. Nothing about outer space in this paragraph. There is one marine life habitat where experts agree mining should not take place. No, he has not suggested anything like that. So, a paragraph, we don't have any answers of this at this. Let's see the blanks if there is any answer of blank here. Mining corporations. So we haven't read anything about mining companies, but let me read again further. Believe that mineral resources lying under the sea may be superior to those found in the earth. There is nothing mentioned that the minerals found in the sea is better than those found in the earth. So we haven't read any comparison like this. So 24th is not here. So a paragraph, there is no answer in a paragraph, so it's entirely free paragraph. So we're moving on to b paragraph. Okay, we are looking at how here is the inverted commas. So now we will do this. Okay, it is said by Upton. We are looking at bioactive potential of marine resources to see if there are any more medicines or drugs down there before we destroy it forever. So instead of this, let me do this. Just name. So Upton, what Upton is saying that they are looking at bioactive potential of marine resources and they want to see if there are any more medicines or drugs down, like basically down there, meaning to say in the ocean, before we destroy it forever. Before like mining companies destroy that particular ecosystem forever, we lose the medicines, or maybe there is some medicine that we may not have found yet, but it is there somewhere in the sea that can cure all our ailments like cancer or whatever not whatnot. So he's just saying that we have to look at this. A medical microbiologist at the University of Plymouth, he is among many scientists urging a halt to deep sea mining, asking for time to weigh up the pros and cons. So he's asking for companies or for governments to step in and halt, meaning to say stop deep sea mining, and they want some time to weigh up the pros and cons of these particular activities. In sustainability terms, this could be a better way of exploiting the economic potential of the deep sea, he argues. So he's saying, this is again inverted commas, he argues basically Upton. So what I'm going to do is, there is like two things, so I'm going to do this for the time being. So what he's saying that in sustainability terms, this could be a better way of exploiting economic potential. So it can be more beneficial if we do this, like if we try to find the medicines in because then mining. Oceanographers using remotely operated vehicles have spotted many new species. So these are people who use remote operated vehicles, and they have found many new species. Among them have been sea cucumbers with tails allowing them to sail along the ocean floor, and a rare Dumbo octopus found 3000 meters under the Pacific off the coast of California. So these two species, sea cucumber, let me change the color for that. These two species, sea cucumbers and Dumbo octopus, these two species are found in the ocean. Any of these could offer life-saving potential. So any of these two species can give some medicines or some sort of thing that can save lives of millions of people. Upton estimates it could take up to a decade for newly discovered antibiotic to become a medicine, but the race toward commercial mining in the ocean abyss has already begun. So Upton is saying that we the medical field may need approximately a decade before they make the newly discovered antibiotic into a medicine, but the mining industry has already begun, and it will destroy, or it may destroy, the oceans before any concluding evidence can be found by the scientist for like looking at the medical aspect of it. I hope it is clear. Let's see. You have 10 seconds to tell me the answer whether out of these four questions is there any information or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's see if there is any answer or not. 14th. Rapidly increasing raw material transport industry. There is no mention of transport industry or any need of one particular raw material. Rough estimate of area of Earth. No, there is no information like that. Particular underwater habitat where minerals and organisms coexist is formed. There is nothing mentioned about how an ecosystem is formed in ocean. Reference to the fact that countries of the world have yet to agree on rules. Nothing mentioned about like that either. So out of these four questions, we don't have any answer, but we have Upton. So we have at two places the inverted commas information in inverted commas. Let's see. Mm, Again, you will have 10 seconds to tell me whether out of these six questions, these two information, if is there any question that matches with it or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read together. 18th. A move away from the exploitation of heavily mined reserves on a land is a good idea. So is he saying something like that? No. Though he is saying that we should try to stop the mining, but there is no mention about stopping mining where it is heavily mined. Okay, he's not saying that this particular area is very heavily mined or this particular area is more exploited than others, so we should not mine here because it will destroy that particular habitat or something like that. They're just saying that mining industry is like far ahead than medical industry. Commercial mining is far ahead than medical mining, so we have to stop them. It's a suggestion given by that, but there is no about any particular area like those are heavily mined, so there is nothing specially mentioned about those heavily mined reserves, so it cannot be our answer. 19th. The negative effects of undersea exploration on local areas and inhabitants are being ignored. There is nothing about ignorance here. 20th. There are more worthwhile things to extract from sea than minerals. Is there any mention that something is more worthwhile, like more beneficial than mineral extracting minerals from the sea? Yes, this is our answer. Can you tell me where it is written? Here. This. Sorry about that. This is our location. Question number 20. So, can you tell me where are the things written? Here it is written. Is a better way of exploiting. So, better way is more worthwhile. Here it is written equally. So, equally we cannot say equally as more. So that's why here it is like more, like it is more relevant than this particular information. So it's a better way of exploiting the economic things of deep sea. So from the sea. Okay, but remember you can use more any letter more than once, or you may use, or you have to use here because there are like 5 options but the questions are 6, so we have to read all the questions to see if this information is here or not in other any question. No other form of human exploitation will have such a destructive impact on marine. Nah, there is nothing about that. 22nd, more is known about outer space than about what. There is nothing mentioned, no mention about outer space. 23rd, there is one marine life habitat where experts agree to should stop mining. There is nothing about that. So 20th is our answer only in this paragraph. Okay, so let's see if there is any blank here or not. Mining corporations believe that mineral sources lying the sea may be spirit to found in earth. So there is no comparison of sea and earth here. So 24th cannot be here. So only 20th answer is in this particular paragraph. So now from this it's quite clear that we have six paragraphs. All right, so first two paragraphs we didn't find any answer of these four questions. So in the next four questions, every question will have one answer each, because if we are sure that you have read it correctly, so this is the only logical solution that remains for this particular paragraph. Okay, let's read C paragraph now. The deep sea contains more nickel, cobalt, and rare earth metals than all land reserves combined, according to US Geological Survey. So, what the survey is saying that this sea, like deep sea contains more nickel, cobalt, and rare earth metals than all. Sorry about that. Metals than all land reserves combined, according to this survey. Mining corporations argue that deep sea exploration could help diversify the supply of metals and point to the fact that demand for resources such as copper, aluminum, cobalt for electric car batteries, and other metals to power technology and smartphones is soaring. So they are saying that wherever it is. So these things are needed for electric car batteries and smartphones, and the demand is increasing. They say that deep sea mining could yield far superior ore to land mining with little, if any, waste. What they're saying that the deep sea mining could yield far superior ore. So deep sea mining far than land mining with little, if any, waste, meaning to say in deep sea mining there would be very little waste, or if at all there the like wastage would be like negligible, basically you can say. Different methods of extraction exist, but most involve employing some form of converted machinery previously used in terrestrial mining to excavate materials from the seafloor at depths of up to 6,000 meters. Then drawing a sea water slurry containing rock and other solid particles from the sea floor to ships on the surface. So they are saying that the machines that are used or that will be used for deep sea mining, they are the same that we used on Earth. Okay, the slurry is then de-watered and transferred to another vessel for shipping. So this particular slurry is used after 6,000 meters, and then it is de-water, meaning to say the water is removed from that particular thing, and then it is transferred to another vessel for shipping. Extracted sea water is pumped back down and discharged close to the sea floor. Sorry. So the water that was extracted, it is again like given back to the ocean, and it is discharged as close to the as sea floor as possible, I believe. So it is discharged close to sea floor, but it is as close to a sea floor, I don't know, but it is discharged close to the sea floor. I hope you understood the paragraph, and you will have 10 seconds to tell me if there is any answer or not. But remember, there will be answer, because four paragraphs are remaining and four questions are there, and we cannot repeat any option. There is no information like that. So tell me which question is the answer of this, and your 10 seconds start now. Okay, time's up. Now tell me I hope you figured out the correct answer. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna read together and try to find the answer. Let's start. So 14th question. Reference to the rapidly increasing need for one raw material in the transport industry. Is there any mention about transport industry and like increasing need, rapidly increasing need? Is there any answer? Yes, it is. First, let me write here option number C. Now, can you tell me where it is written? Here. uh, what I'm going to do is, okay, so here cobalt for electric car batteries. Okay, so electric car is a form of transport. All right, and here it is written is soaring. Soaring means increasing rapidly, significantly. If you are an academic, like if you are an academic student, you will know in task 1 we use these words like soar, okay, to indicate that increase is significant. So this is, let me do this, question number 14. I hope it is clear why it is 14th. Now let's see if there is no person mention of any person here, so obviously we will not have any answer of this. Okay, and let's see if 24th is here or not. Mining corporations believe that minerals resources lying under the sea may be now we have, yes, we have read something about that. Deep sea, more nickel. Yes, there are more nickel, and it is written here mining corporation. Let me change the color. Here it is written about mining corporations. Clear? Okay, let's see. Uh, they also say that these can be removed without producing much. So first they argue that these could diversify the supply of this and other metal. This they say that they could be used far superior to this. Okay, so this is your first thing and this is their second thing. So our answer should be here. So you have about 10 seconds to tell me the answer. So answer should be in this particular sentence and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the answer here and see if you write the correct answer or not. And the answer is waste. Let me do this. Just 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Question 24. Waste. So now why it is this answer? So also means +1. So they are like they are saying that these are superior than earth. So diversify each resource, they have like more than the whatever we have on earth combined. Second is they say that could yield far superior ore to land mining with little if any waste. So they are saying it is like ore is far superior. Let me do this. Ore is far superior than land mining. Okay, and there would be little if any waste. So without any or little waste. Without much meaning to say it's very little, negligible, without much waste. Let me do this. I hope it is clear. Moving on to 25th, let's see if this is it is here in the remaining paragraph or not. The extraction is often done by adapting the dash being used to work on land. So we have read something about using something on land. Okay, different methods of extraction exist. So this is about extraction. So this is extraction is done here, but most involve employing some form of converted machinery previously used in terrestrial mining to excavate minerals from the sea floor. Okay, so uh, let me do this. Your answer should be in this sentence, and your time, you have up to 10 seconds for this, starts now. Okay, time's up. And the answer to this is, let me write here and see if you were able to figure out the correct answer or not. The answer is machinery. Here it is. Question 25. Now, why or how it is machinery? Can you tell me where it is written? Adapting to be used on land, adapting used to work on land. Yes, adapting here it is written as converted and used in terrestrial mining. So, terrestrial basically means land mining. I hope you know these kind of synonyms because they are quite common. Okay, moving on to 26. Let's see if 26 is here or not as well. The method of excavation involves removing the seawater from the slurry. So here it is, drawing seawater slurry. So involves seawater from the slurry that is brought up to ships and returning it to the seabed. So here it is written discharge close to sea floor. So water is discharged close to sea floor. So obviously this will not be our in this paragraph, our answer will not be here, but let me read it anyhow. However, concerned groups strongly believe that, so concerned groups, so there will be some sort of agencies or groups, they believe that dash due to the possible number of sorry about that, due to the possible number of unidentified consequences. So they believe that dash due to the possible, so we have to do something because of the possible number of unidentified consequences. So wherever we will find these words or synonyms of these words or paraphrasing of these words, we'll find the our answer there. So let's do is read paragraph D and C out of 15, 16, 17, which is our answer. But environmental and legal groups have urged caution, arguing there are potentially massive and unknown ramifications for the environment and for nearby communities, and the global regulatory framework is not yet drafted. So, what they're saying is that the environmental and legal groups, what they have said, they have urged caution, so they want people to be cautious or they want governments to be cautious. They are what they argue that there are potentially massive and unknown ramifications. So ramification basically means consequences, results for what, for the environment, okay, and for nearby communities and those people who live nearby, close to those areas where like heavy mining are being done, heavy mining is being done, sorry, that the global regulatory framework is yet not drafted, and we have not yet drafted like a framework or some sort of rules, you can say, at a global level. Despite rising in the last half century, the new global gold rush of deep sea mining shares many features with past resource scrambles, including a general disregard for environmental and social impacts and the marginalization of indigenous people and their rights. A paper written by Julius Hunter, Julian Ogon, and from Blue Ocean Law, and Pradeep Singh from the Center for Marine Environment Sciences, Bremen argues. Okay, so this is about three people. Where it is, the inverted comma started from here. So what these three people are saying that the global rush, they are mm, okay, so again I'm going to repeat it. Despite rising in the last half century, so we have seen this the rise of this particular industry in the last half century. So they are like including general disregard. So the general disregard just means they are not caring about the environmental and social impact. So they are ignoring the environmental and social impact, or and they are also not taking care of indigenous people and their rights. So these three people argue like that. The authors say that that the knowledge of the deep sea bed remains extremely limited. The surface of the moon, Mars, and even Venus have all been mapped and studied in much greater detail, leading marine scientists to commonly remark that with respect to the deep sea, we don't know yet what we need to know. So they are saying that we know much more about the surface of moon, Mars, and even Venus, because we have mapped those surfaces, studied in much greater detail. So we even more in more detail than deep sea. So we don't know what we need to know about deep seas. Okay, I believe if you have, like, we have read these questions so many times, so there is some sort of image of in our head of these questions, and you have 10 seconds to tell me whether 15, 16, or 17 is our answer, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read together. If there is any answer, what is our answer? No, there is no question of if here. 15th, a rough estimate of the area of Earth covered by oceans. There is no mention about that. How a particular underwater habitat where mineral and organisms coexist is formed. There is no like information about how something is done. Like there is no explanation like that. So obviously 17 should be our answer, but let's read it. Reference to the fact that countries of the world have yet to agree on exploration. Yes, this is our answer. Where it is written? Very good. Here. The global regulatory framework is not yet drafted. Regulatory framework basically means rules, rules and regulations. So regulatory. So you should know that word obviously. Global meaning around the world, all over the world. So it's yet not not yet drafted, meaning to say not yet made. So whenever the rules there is framework drafting. So here the draft meaning to say made, written. So they haven't agreed on something. That's why it is not in a drafted form. I hope it is clear. Now we have people also. So B option is Julie Hunter, Julian Agon, and Pradeep Singh. So these are the three people. Obviously, here it is where their names were here. Julie Hunter, Julian Agon, and Pradeep Singh. Okay. Now tell me, these two things are said by these three people only. So tell me first if this is the answer of, let me remove this. First I will just do the names. Okay, now you have to tell me whether from despite to their rights is the answer of any of the five remaining questions, and so if yes, which question, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So if you need more time to read it, you can pause the video, and when you are ready with your answer, you can continue. So let's read together now. 18th, a move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves on land is a good idea. There is no mention about that, like we have to move away from heavily mined resources. Here they're saying that the general disregard for these particular impacts and about people living there. Okay, 19th, a negative effect of undersea exploration on local areas and their inhabitants are being ignored. Is there something about ignoring some the rights of the inhabitants and whatever the impact is on local area? Yes. So it is B. So let me write here first. This is question number 19th. So here it is written. So including a general disregard, that just that means ignoring environmental and social impact. So on the local area and marginalization of indigenous people and their rights and their inhabitants. It's quite like straightforward, I believe. So, okay, now about this. Tell me if this is the answer of any of the remaining four questions. You will have 10 seconds for this as well, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now we'll read the 18th. So the information is saying 18th, a move away from the exploration of heavily mined areas. No, this is not in the paragraph or this information. 21, human exploration will have no other form of human exploration will have such impact on marine. Nothing about that. More is known about outer space than about what lies beneath the oceans. Yes, this is our answer. B option. Let me write here. Question number 22. So, outer space, they have written the name of the planets Moon, Mars, and even Venus. And we know more have all been mapped and studied in much greater detail, leading marine scientists. So, here S just means more than one. So, this is the only option containing more than one scientist. To commonly remark that with the respect to the deep sea, we don't know what we need to know. So we know more about Moon, Mars, and even Venus, but we don't know about our oceans. So 23. So more, this is nothing about that here. And about blanks, 26th. However, concerned groups, I believe we have read something about groups in the beginning. Yes. So in this particular sentence is our answer. Okay, let me do this here. So our answer is in this particular sentence, and you will have some time to tell me which word suits the best here, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Now let's see which answer should be here, which answer is there, and have you arrived at the correct answer or not. I'm gonna write the answer here. The answer is caution. Let me mark the answer, then I'll tell you why it is our answer. Okay, so here they are saying that concerned groups strongly believe that caution due to the possible number of unidentified consequences. So, such concerned groups here are environmental and legal groups. Environmental and legal groups are same as concerned groups because these groups are concerned with this particular activity. So they have urged caution. So if they're urging, so if what do you urge? Whatever you believe in, you urge people to do that. So if you want to, if you are a strong believer of not using plastic, you will urge people to limit their use of plastic. So whatever you believe, you urge people to do that, or you urge people to not do that. So strongly believe in, urge people. Caution due to possible number of this, so potentially massive and unknown ramification. So let's do this. Why leave out massive? Okay, unknown ramification. Unknown meaning to say unidentified. Ramification is just synonym of consequences. I hope it is clear. So our blanks are done. We have done three questions and these two questions. So now we're gonna read E paragraph and see whether 15th or 16th is our answer. Scientific research, including a recent paper in Marine Policy Journal, has suggested that the deep seabed and the hydrothermal vents which are created when seawater meets volcanic magma have crucial impacts upon biodiversity and the global climate. So they're saying that whenever there is like combination of seawater and volcanic magma, there is something that forms within. Okay, biodiversity and global climate. Let me change the color to this. So they have impact on this. The mineral rich vents and their surrounds are also home to many well known animals, including crustaceans, tube worms, clams, slugs, anemones, and fish. So these animals live in these particular ecosystem. It is becoming increasingly clear that deep sea mining possesses a grave threat to these vital seabed functions. The paper says extraction methods would produce large sediment plumes and involve the discharge of waste back into the ocean, significantly disturbing sea floor environments. The paper continues. On deep sea vents, scientists are clear, says Dr. John Copley. Here it is the name of the person of the National of the National Oceanography Center, Southampton. We don't want mining on them. So he's saying that they don't want to mine on these particular places. So tell me the answer whether it is 15 or 16 of this, and for that you will have 10 seconds and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read together. 15th, a rough estimate of the area of Earth covered by ocean. There is no mention of this particular figure. So obviously, our answer to this has to be paragraph E. But where it is written? Here. Deep sea bed from here to here. You can say from here to here. Here it is written like we have to find two things: minerals and organisms coexist and how it is formed. So when deep sea bed and hydrothermal vents, which are created when sea water meet volcanic magma, have crucial impacts upon biodiversity and global climate. The mineral rich vents and their surrounds are also home to this. So mineral, so this is the mineral, and these are the organisms. The names are written here. So let me write the question number here. I hope it was quite easy, straightforward. Okay, now we have Dr. John Copley here. And is there? Yes, Dr. John Copley, C option. Now, you have to tell me whether 18th, 21, and 23. Okay, these three questions are left. If there is any answer in it or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Let's read together now. 18th, a move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves on a land is good idea. Is there anything that they want? It is written here. Okay, the answer from here to here. Let me first mark it from here and then here. So, is there anything written like it's a good idea? No, nothing like that. 21. No other form of human exploration will have such destructive impact on marine. Is something like that written in here or not? No, it is not. 23. There is one marine life habitat where experts agree mining should not take place. Yes. First, let me write here option number C. And here is question 23. So, why it is our answer? So, here it is written one marine life habitat, and that is on deep sea vents. So, this is the life habitat here. This is the deep sea vents that are being made. So it is written here, the mineral rich vents, obviously the deep sea vents here it is written. All right. So these they don't want mining on them. So in this area they don't want any mining. So this is, they are not saying it's a good idea from heavily mined reserves. This is like only one place they're talking about. So you should not mine where there is deep sea vents. Clear? That's why 18th is not the answer for this. I hope it is clear. Okay, moving on to next paragraph F. Because of a blanks we have completed it. So obviously now here, now we are, as we are pretty sure that we have whatever we have read before, we have read it like clearly and accurately, so we know F is the answer, should be answer of this. But anyhow we will read it and we will see where it is written so that you can understand where it is. The oceans occupy around 70% of the planet and are relatively unexplored, says Mike Johnston, chief executive of Nautilus, a Canadian underwater exploration company. Okay, so obviously, in our very first sentence, we get the answer for this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it here, and so let me write here question 15. Tell okay. Even so, can you tell me where it is written? Rough estimate. Yes, word around. So if you are preparing for your academics, you know around about these kind of words are written in your task one. Okay, when you don't know the exact amount or exact figure, so you are just guessing. So it looks roughly 20%, roughly 35%, 40%, 42%. So we use these kinds of words with them because it's somewhere close, but we are not sure exactly. We are not sure to the point. So that's the rough estimate. Okay, so let's now move to these, like this particular question, list of people. So there are two people left, Mike Johnston and Verena Tunicliffe. So and the questions are 21 and 18. Okay, let's see. So this is Mike Johnston. So now we'll read further. It makes sense to explore this untapped potential in an environmentally sustainable way instead of continually looking at the fast depleting land resources of the planet to meet society's rising needs. So, again, this is said by Mike Johnston. So what he's saying that it makes sense that we should use this untapped potential in an environmentally sustainable way, like undersea. Okay, instead of like fast depleting land resources, instead of mining on Earth, we should mine in sea. So those leading the global rush. Okay, let's do this. Tell me whether 18th or 21 can like, is there any answer, like whether 18th or 21 is the answer of this particular information? And your time, you have 10 seconds. Your time starts now. Okay, time's up. So let's read together question number 18th. A move away from the exploration of heavily mined reserves on land is a good idea. So yes, this is our answer. Mike Johnston. It is D option. Yes, let me just mark here first, then I will tell you. This is question 18. So here they are saying instead of on doing on land, okay, land resources, we should do this in sea. It's a good idea. Makes sense. Makes sense. If something makes sense, that's a good idea. You will say, if you say this makes sense, so you are in agreement, you agree with this particular idea. But if you say it doesn't make any sense, you are not in agreement, so you disagree, obviously. Okay, so mm, we cannot mark this as E because it is like written here, you may use a letter more than once. So maybe E is not any answer, or it can be any other, but we have to read. Those leading the global rush to place giant mining machines thousands of meters below the sea surface say the environmental impacts will be far lower than on land. But critics say exotic and little known ecosystems in the deep oceans could be destroyed and must be protected. Mining, so here it is inverted commas, it is beginning here. Mining will be the greatest assault on deep sea ecosystems ever inflicted by humans, according to hydrothermal vent expert Verena Tunicliffe at the University of Victoria in Canada. She argues that active vents must be off limits for mining to protect the new knowledge of and biotechnology spin-offs they can deliver, and that strict controls must be in place elsewhere. Okay, so this is our information in the inverted commas that we want to highlight from here to here, and it is said by Verena Tunicliffe. So you have 10 seconds to tell me if 21 is our answer of this or not, and your time starts now. Okay, time's up. Yes, this is our answer. Let me write here first. Option number E. This is question number 21. Okay. So here they are saying that no other form of human exploitation will have such a destructive impact, meaning to say there is nothing we can do that will destroy marine life like this particular thing. So here it is written, mining will be the greatest. So the greatest meaning to say nothing comes close. Assault on deep ecosystem ever inflicted by humans. So ever is also meaning to say we haven't done anything like that, or we may not be able to do harm like that even in the future. Okay, I hope it is clear. So let's see if we have done all the questions. C, F, E, D, B, A, E, B, C. Okay, so this is how you can approach this kind of passage, this kind of question types. So if you are not clear in any question, so if any question is not clear, if you have doubts in any question, you should watch the video again and again until that doubt is clear. And if still some doubt persists, you can like ask us in our comment section. We will be happy to reply you to clear your doubts. And just on on the ending note, if you are struggling with your writing and or speaking, like you're struggling to get your desired band scores like band 7 or more in writing and or speaking, so you can enroll in our video course we have that has helped like thousands of students, countless students to achieve their dream score, to get their dream score. And if you want to move to the country of your dreams, if you want that dream job, that dream admission, and if you are stuck at 6 or 6.5 and you're not able to get that all elusive 7 in any of the modules, you can enroll in our course. We have like discussed thoroughly there how to like what examiners are looking for, how to score your like desired band scores in your first attempt without fail. And we have discussed thoroughly on the 4 parameters that are that are available on the IELTS official website, what the examiners are looking for, where you may be lacking. And if you want our one-to-one services, our essay correction services, or you want one-to-one speaking, you can still contact us. We will be happy to provide you with those services as well. You can like buy our course on our website, and if you want to buy our that service as well, you can contact us in our comment section or on our website form. So with that particular note, that's it for this particular video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care and goodbye.